Hello and welcome to my knife making video. This is not a how-to video, but it's more of what my experiences were making my own knives. I followed Chrisfix's videos, and he has a very detailed video on how to make a knife, and I'll put that link in. The process was very satisfying, and it really only used basic tools. I used a piece of about a 20-inch piece of 01 tool steel, 16th of an inch thick. Wasn't too pricey, and that made me 3 kitchen knives. And the smaller the knife, the more you could make. But it was very, very satisfying. And I gave one away as a gift, and I kept 2. And I love the knives. It was a very cool experience, and that really anyone can do. My next clip here is after I did the outline, I use a zip disc to grind them out. If you're slow and careful, you only really... I went through 1 zip disc, and I know this looks like a grinding wheel, but this is a zip disc. And then I was trying with the masking tape to make I think it's called a Roscario. It's a little unsharpened piece at the base of the knife, and very, very success with that. But with practice, I'm sure I could get better, or you could get better. And my next picture here is starting the grind, and again, Chrisfix has a good way of starting the grind. And then the other picture is this is the grinder, or the belt sander I used, and very inexpensive one I got at Princess Auto here in Canada, but it worked well for me. I mean, if you made this for a living, it wouldn't be so great, but again, it worked well for me, and I think it was under $100. My next clip is me cooling the knife down with snow. So I just kept grinding, and then I'm not sure if this is proper, but I used snow to cool it down. I was making it in the winter, and it's a plentiful supply here in Canada. My next picture is so once I got the knife to a point or sharpened, I just keep progressively getting finer and finer, and I just use a little cheapy sander here to polish the knife and get it as sharp and as perfect as I can before you go and forge it. And we have another picture here. This is the rivets. Put the rivets. I drilled for the rivets. Went through quite a few drill bits, and the rivets I used were just all I could find was stainless steel eye bolts or lag bolts, and I just cut off the heads and cut off the threads, and I was left with a little 1/4-inch rivet, which worked really well. Kind of expensive way of doing it, but if you could find it some stainless steel rod, it would have been cheaper, but I just couldn't find it, and I live kind of in a rural area, so these things are tougher to find. I'm not sure what. I have a little sander thing in there, or a little grinder deal, but I'm not sure what I had that for. But nevertheless, it worked well. And then we get into the forging process here. Can't say enough about forging. You got to do it. There's probably about 1,000 ways I could have burnt down my place this way. I'd recommend following Chrisfix's. He uses his fire pit. I thought, I'll be contained in the barbecue, but I kind of destroyed my barbecue, and I caught everything on fire. And I had lots of water around, fire extinguishers, because I was quenching with oil, vegetable oil, and of course water and oil don't mix, so you need a fire extinguisher or something, whatever high. And then a hairdryer. And then the hairdryer, even on its lower setting, it was too much air, and things really happened fast. So charcoal and my barbecue I was using, and it worked. I mean, it worked. It worked actually quite well. Everything got forged. You can see here I'm using some barbecue tongs, and there is another picture. It's heats her up really good. And yeah, just gloves, and be as careful as you can. I really prepared for this. And then we have, everything's nice and crispy and cooked. I was testing her hardness with the file. If the file doesn't dig in, like it just skates off, then you've reached your maximum hardness, or it's hard enough. So, which it did. It worked good. It was hard, and then of course you bake it in the oven for I think an hour or two, and it kind of softens it, because at this point it's just too hard. It's brittle, is from what I told. You see I have my big snowmobile mitts there, just in case I needed to handle something, but they would have been sacrificed. Next picture is the handle. Yeah, so again, what I only had available to me, I used to use teak hardwood flooring, cut down little cubes, sanded off the finish that came with, and just clamped it, drilled it, put the stainless steel rivets in, and it worked great. So, and then here is clamping and gluing, and yeah, very satisfied with the process. And then my finish knife, and again, I made 3 of these and gave one away. And again, I love it. You can't see it here, but I etched in a little logo of mine with a battery charger and some salt water, and it worked pretty good. And then you use nail polish, and then you etch it, and it worked out well. And then of course you sand, just like Chrisfix. You sand all the wood handle, and it comes out nice and smooth, and you get the shape you want, and everything's good. And that was my knife making experience. And